And welcome everyone. This is Off the Page, the comic book podcast for CBC. It has been a long time. It's been about 2 months. I think the last one we did was the 4th of April. I think that's what the date on the last layout said. Um, so yeah, we're finally back. Of course, issues stopped us from doing everything, but all the other ones are back. And as usual, whenever we stop this, everyone's like, "Oh, where is it?" It's like, just wait for it. It is coming back, and now it's back. Um, you can Google us to find us anywhere. Comic Book Cast. You'll find the Facebook, the Twitter, the Patreon, which you will find Logan on there. That's this month's commentary. You might be getting 2 next month. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, Mitch 692 halftime show, as always, as is everything, as is life.
As this is live.
Mhm.
I was trying to think of a Thanos quote, but I forgot like exactly what he says.
Isn't it perfectly balanced as all things should be?
Some. I don't know. That's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of another one, but I mean, it's just
I
been
mean,
a while.
this is a quote. Like,
I feel like I should be seeing Infinity War every week until Avengers 4, but I haven't. I've only seen it 3 times.
52 times. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, there's some way it's got to be free somehow.
I mean, there is.
You can always sneak into movie theaters.
I wouldn't recommend any of them. Support the industry.
So do
So,
support the industry. That's right. That's right. Because then,
so
yeah.
to tell people stop crying that the industry's dying when clearly it's not.
I don't know. I just need to watch it again. It's been a while, and I feel like I need my dose. Okay, once a month until Avengers 4 come out. I feel like that's a good deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, the movie comes out on digital in 3 months after the film, so by
But
August,
isn't it August for the home release?
then maybe end of July, beginning August, because I think end of August is home release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could watch it right up until the home release and then
exactly. Just I think it's gonna be out of theaters by the time the home release is. Oh, Redbox. Redbox does get it before home release, I think.
there's Redbox.
Yeah,
And no doubt they'll do it back to back in cinemas or theaters.
because that might be worth it. Might be
That'd
for
be
that.
95 hours. So emotionally drained. Why?
Oh yeah.
Um, I was almost going to give a spoiler for the movie then, but I'm not
Nope.
going. No one's seen it.
Nope.
Black Panther 3 has been pushed back by a whole month, 4 weeks. Of course, it's only just had its first issue out last week. I think it was the whole Space Wakanda stuff. It's a
Uh,
and it sucks to see the third issue is pushed back.
yeah. So instead of July 25th, it's coming out August 22nd. No reason for the delay. Black Panther debuted May 23rd with number 2 on schedule for June 27th released.
Mm.
So yeah, it came out last week. Yeah. Wow.
It's a really good issue. Like,
No, I'm sure. I mean, Coates, he's a pretty great writer. You know, he brings a lot of modern stuff into this. And did you know he's over 6 feet tall? Like that's crazy.
that's not really that crazy.
Is it? Are you over 6 feet?
I'm 6'2". You've asked me this so many times.
God, I forget who anybody who's over 6 feet because I'm Mexican, so I'm short by nature.
How can
But
you forget if you're short? Like, everyone, you're always looking up.
that's true. Everybody's tall. Everybody's 6 foot to me, technically. But
No, I'm pretty certain 6 foot's at least the average in England.
I think average here is like 5'10" or 5'11", something
Yeah.
like that. Being 5'10" for a Mexican, it's like whoa, you hit a growth spurt.
He's a giant.
Yeah, pretty much. But look, the covers are looking great, and you say it's really good, and that's definitely something I was always interested in, especially when they brought it in
Legacy.
yeah, Legacy, which I still love. That I think that one shot is great. I think both one shots are great.
It's
The
a
Rebirth Legacy.
it's a- And so
Yes,
was,
I this is an interesting way to take Black Panther with the Empire and stuff like that. So
yeah. It's a very interesting way to
it's just it's weird.
take.
Do you have a reason? Do you have like what do you think?
What do you mean? What do I think?
Like why it would be, you know?
What? Why are they going to space?
No, why they got held back a week or
Oh,
like
I mean, it's the same answer for every delay, isn't it?
probably art or writers on like
Clearly got to be art.
yeah he's just kind of late. He's like all right we're gonna have to delay because somebody's late on something.
Yeah, plus the art's really good in it. It's the same guy who did Sam Wilson, Captain America. If you remember that, so it's really nice.
Are you gonna hate this specifically since you're really into this series so far with just one issue? But 2 comes out in the 27th, and then you won't for a whole month. You're not gonna.
I'm kind of salty.
Yeah.
Because that's just 2 months between the second issue and the third.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
yeah.
but it's safe to assume that if number 3 is being pushed back 4 weeks, that everything else is gonna be pushed back 4 weeks, right? So that's just safe to assume.
No, I wouldn't assume that.
No, so like 3 comes out August 22nd. You'd assume maybe 4 comes around the same time because that's when 4 was supposed to come out, I think. If it's monthly, they come out around the same time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you could have 3 and 4 within a week.
It's true. It's true.
Make up for it, This isn't Doomsday Clock. They don't like having an eternity schedule.
Don't even bring me up on that. We'll talk about that later.
Just like, oh, this is a thing. Fuck, I forgot. But yeah, that's a bit of a bummer to start off with.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one. DC is to revive yet another imprint because they haven't already got 16,000 of them already. But cliffhanger for creator-owned comics is reportedly coming back. So stuff like Danger Girl, Battle Chasers, and Crimson.
I mean, when I hear cliffhanger, imprint, and creator-owned comics, it just makes me think like, so are they gonna have like their own version of it, where creators can just come in and create whatever, or do the creators have to create these characters that are in it?
Well, no, creator-owned means creator-owned.
Yeah, so I think
they can do whatever they want.
So no, okay, but I don't know if these characters are coming back, like Danger Girl, Battle Chasers, Crimson, and all of them.
Imagine, that's Danger Girl stopped? I don't think it has.
I don't know. I thought they all stopped, to be honest. I don't really know Cliffhanger imprint too much, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't know the imprint, but I knew Danger Girl.
But like it says right here, so Cliffhanger was the Wildstorm creator-owned imprint that spawned a number of comics, and it brought us 3 main comics from 3 main creators: Danger Girl, Battle Chasers, Crimson. I don't think they've said anything of those 3 characters specifically are coming back, but they are having their own creator-owned imprints now, basically. Yeah. And now creators can just come in and create whatever they want. I mean, Scott Snyder's American Vampire can move from Vertigo to this if they wanted. So,
which, I mean, that's kind of pointless. You're going from one DC imprint to another DC imprint.
Yeah, I know. But I guess this would also be a way to kind of farm their own like creators, like a Donny Cates, where they could do creator-owned stuff and just.
Oh, sure. That's not a bad idea to take it.
Yeah, like imagine if Donny Cates had started off here, and then he'd be in the DC family. He'd probably be more inclined to stay with DC.
Yes, that's not a. That wouldn't be a bad idea for the big 2 actually, but then again, that kind of completely eliminates. I
mean, it's kind of having their own minor league, right? Wouldn't you think?
You think it does like completely negate image, because why would you ever go to the indie one when you can go to a feeder series?
True, where then you can get like brought up to DC or Marvel if you want to. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could stay creating your own, but I feel like every writer and artist would love to work on like one of the big 2s. You know what I'm saying?
Pulling a Joe and doing a sports reference, and it's taking every inch of my being not to. Because I don't want.
Well, I already did. I called it a minor league, kind of like they have their own. Yeah.
The F1, you have Formula 2, and then you have each team's got a young season series driver, and they bring them up.
Yeah, it's like, you see it a lot in sports, and I'm sure you see it in Hollywood as well, where there's some of these screenwriters and directors. They're in these little farming systems, and it's kind of weird to say farming system, but that's kind of what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I
mean, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, look, this is a good idea. If it eventually, if it could bring up like creators like a Donny Cates, and then have them get the hype up from that, and then bring them on to a DC comic.
It's kind of, isn't this potentially going to be stretching what you have a bit too thin?
I mean, this is like, I guess so, maybe.
Like
that's
how many
imprints?
imprints does Bendis have at DC now? He's got like
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, they have so many things. I don't know. I honestly don't know the structure of DC Comics and kind of like where all these imprints stand and what
I don't
is the
even
point
think
of them.
they ain't structure anymore. They just keep throwing imprints out there.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's a cool idea
Yeah,
though. I'll give it that. I just don't know
like
the structure of it. Yeah.
John's just gonna come out his little editorial room and be like, "What the fuck? Why are there so many imprints?"
He doesn't even know what's happening in DC Comics. He's been like busy, locked in a room, just writing Doomsday Clock and trying to finish it because he still hasn't probably.
He comes out all blue and sweaty. It's like, what's going on?
It's he's kind of like been in like encased in something or like he's been in a long hibernation or something. He's like, oh, all right, that was all right. I was a little tired from that, but I'm ready to keep. What the heck? Who are these new people? When did we get all these new imprints? What happened to my office? Like, you know, he's just that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, well, this is really kind of not rumors. I guess this is almost confirmed that this is gonna happen. But
I'd say they trademark cliffhanger.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the word. So it's gonna happen.
I guess we don't know to what extent cliffhanger is gonna be at DC Comics. Is it gonna be a Vertigo where it's kind of like Vertigo might be their second like tier to DC itself, or will it be more like the what's the other at Young Animals, the one that I think that brought a certain group of heroes, but it was like for YA people.
Young Animals, Gerard Way, and all that. Was
Yeah,
that his one?
I don't
Where
know.
like, wasn't that like all Milk Wars and stuff that he did?
I think Young Animals was more for the young adults kind of style stuff. So
Yeah, it should be called YA.
yeah, that's true. But it also had Doom Patrol if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So
that's Gerard Way. He's been writing Doom Patrol.
yeah, I guess each of these imprints have their own thing where, you know, Young Animals gonna be for that. I think they have like their own kid version somewhere. They have a girl version for young girls out there that like imprint where they make some of these comics. So I guess they all have serve their purpose. It's kind of to just get a dip in every piece of the pool. You know what I'm saying?
But all I can't wait for is everyone to be like, oh, Marvel's still publishing 1,000 books if you include Star Wars, but let's ignore all the DC imprints.
They both publish 1,000 books. It's just sometimes it's like all under Marvel or all under imprints. It just depends.
It's going to be 1,001 with DC.
God, I hate that idea that they don't like one does something different or better than the other. Like they pretty much both do the same thing. Like they always.
They are identical.
Yeah, they pretty much both do the same thing. They release too many comics. They charge up way too much, especially now DC changing their prices. And you know, they just.
The DC thing, isn't that more going back?
I mean, yeah, technically they only did it for like a couple years, right? Where they put it down the price.
Twitter, like, think of it as the Rebirth discount ending.
Yeah, basically.
It's kind
I mean, it was good while it lasted. You can't necessarily be mad because they gave you like a discount for like a couple years now, 3 years probably. So, yeah, we'll see where the imprint goes.
No doubt they'll have a Comic-Con San Diego announcement and all this stuff.
I'm sure, yeah.
But again, where's Milestone?
Milestone, yeah, about that.
I think the legal issues might.
That's another one that's kind of like that. You think it's the legal issues that are like messing it up?
I think that's absolutely stopped it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
What's the guy's widow's name?
I can never remember.
Who's the main guy from Milestone?
The main guy now, or the main guy who used to be? The main
guy before that started.
Isn't it Joey McDuffie?
That's still one. McDuffie's.
Yeah. I don't know who's in charge
remember
now.
For some reason. Yeah, I'm pretty certain his widow's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, because I think they try to take the money away or something like that, which is kind of a douche move.
They didn't include her in like the revival, despite her owning the thing. They didn't have her name down.
Yeah, they probably should. That's just like, you know, it's just a common sense thing and the business thing. You probably should, unless you knew this was coming. If you didn't,
yeah. So
yeah, they messed up over there at PR.
Even though Black Lightning seems to be fine for them to use, but
yeah, but Black Lightning's the only one.
Yeah, it's like, let us keep Black Lightning, please. Not that anyone read the series, but let's keep him. Speaking of people not reading series, not that I don't know how that translates, but we have new Infinity Wars teasers, and we have 3. Yes, because it's Wars with a Z, not World War Z, but with an S. So yeah, They're decent. You got Adam Warlock and Thanos. You got what was the name? Emma Frost and Star Lord, and then you have Loki and Requiem, which is a
Which I
strange.
love the Requiem and how he looks.
I don't know if it's a she because
Oh
there
yeah,
is
okay, and he or
some,
she.
is she or they look like a she. And it's just like, could it be Phyla Vell? I don't know. It's possible.
I think it
Uh,
looks cool to be honest.
and they've all got death wins on them.
Yeah, teasing a death that could happen, right?
It's like, is this going to be like teams against each other? Bit like a battle world sort of a thing?
It's a battle royale. Damn, even battle royale is going into comics.
Can Battle Royale die already?
I like battle royales. I think eventually there'll be too much, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know really what some of these necessarily mean in a sense of like death wins. Like, what is that? Somebody's gonna die, like one of them.
See, we don't know, because Death Wins is the tagline of this. Like, everything's had it. Infinity Wars, Death Wins.
So maybe death actually just wins.
Yeah, it's like, who is
Nobody dies.
Requiem? Wins. It's like, Adam Warlock eats a sandwich, Death Wins.
Adam Warlock eats a sandwich.
Thanos goes to the toilet, Death Wins.
I don't know. What's your kind of idea about this? You're like, this is your bread and butter.
I have no fucking clue what Duggan's doing with this series. No fucking clue. I have no idea what he's doing. Apart from, there are some rumors or theories that people think he's going to have an Infinity armor as opposed to the Gauntlet, because there is a dwarf making things in the main series, and I imagine he's talking to Requiem, whoever that may be. I think it's Phyla or Phyla, to be perfectly honest. Because he said he had plans for her, and we haven't seen her yet, apart from a couple of times in Soul World. So, but apart from that, I honestly don't know what to make of it. I'm liking Infinity Countdown so far, so. Apart from the tie-ins are pretty boring, but we'll get on that later on. Art's nice though. Not that I think is it Del Mundo still? Not Del Mundo. Who's doing these posters? Is it Diodata Jr.? J.G. Jones and Nolan Woodward. So it's not either of the names I said. But they're cool. Can't really fault them. Even though Emma Frost is an interesting character to be in here, she hasn't been in anything so far, so I have no clue what she's doing, especially with Star-Lord.
I like that none of these kind of articles give us any hints.
Nothing gives us hints.
Nothing gives us hints. This is literally nobody knows what's happening, but in a good way, nobody knows what's happening.
I mean, no one knows what's going on in Countdown, so no one knows where this is going to start.
Yeah.
And it's not even like it's tying into like the movies or even doing anything similar to it, apart from using the stones. So I don't really know.
I don't know. I just love the character look of Requiem. I've been loving some of the new character looks they've been putting out. You know, like for Dawn Cates' Death of Inhumans and this, like.
That's very. The Death of Inhumans thing is very much Earth X Black Bolt. Very much.
Oh, that's cool.
Requiem, Duggan, I know is
A Destiny fan, you said?
He's either a Destiny fan or he did the script for Destiny 1. I think he might have worked on the games. It's like, let's just get a hunter in
there. Yeah, when you first mentioned it a while back ago when it first got announced, I was like, you're right, it does look like a hunter.
Let's just put the hunter in there. A bit of an Oryx like influence, like in the arm, like especially the chest armor. It's very like Oryx headed.
Reminds me of a little bit of what my character was in Dungeons and Dragons a while back ago, like a year ago. And I was playing like
it's very much a D&D sort of style.
Yeah, it had like the hood. I didn't have a sword, I had a pickaxe because I'm a beast. But yeah, like a kind of wanderer traveler type of look.
Yeah. Even though it's weird because it's like that, but in some pictures they got like an aerial sticking out their back, so it's like, is it a bit techish? I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. It could be that, especially with that sword where it looks very techish.
Yeah. It's got the glow and everything. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah. I disagree, and then Joel comes in and he's been like, "That's Dragon Ball GT." It's like, thanks, Joel.
Nobody wants to mention Dragon Ball GT.
Joel did, and it's like, thanks, Joel. That's really made me feel shit about myself now. I just inadvertently, unironically referenced GT, so I'm gonna go in a dark corner and like drink myself silly.
No, but yeah. I mean, it's gonna be for a while though. This whole story, isn't it?
Infinity Wars Prime
Yeah.
is July 25th, so we're not that far away from the end of Countdown.
Yeah.
I think Countdown's only got two main issues left. One being next week. Then the rest of tie-ins, like you got the Dark Hawk Champions or Dark Hawk number 2. I think you got Champions 1 and 2 to go yet.
Yeah.
Can't think of. Have we had that? No, we had Daredevil because that was the silly one. Yeah, I can't remember all the times of that series.
Yeah.
There's not that many, but they're clearly about to wrap up this series, so which is still very clearly the end of his Guardians run. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there, really. So yeah, and speaking of villains, because we were kind of.
Yeah.
Dan Slott and Sarah Pichelli, or Pichelli, as I think her name's actually pronounced, are going to introduce a new villain for the Fantastic Four in August. And it's a she, and she is called Eradicus. And she has literally something called a minion. It's not yellow, it's not in overalls. So it looks like a gorilla. She looks very much not I say very much. The head very like Makerish, and I mean the Maker is still out there. The last time I saw him was an Ultimate Squared 100. He was def- he was definitely in something else. I don't think it was Nova. There def- I think there definitely was another issue where he just randomly appeared in it. Like what the fuck? I mean, knowing Dan Slott as possible. She reminds me of someone, but I can't think who. Radicus is a cool name. August, yes. Can't remember the exact date. Um, when is it? The 8th of August, and it will be 5.99 because all the number ones now are upped in price. And then I think all number ones are longer as well. I'm not sure. The new costumes are cool. They're very well. They're literally invert to the old ones. Instead of being blue and black, they're black and blue. It looks like the Fantastic Four. It's not like the red crap that was in the end, like the second Hickman run. That was god. Oh yeah, yeah. I know it looks smart. It looks sleek. It looks like it's like honoring what's come before, but being slightly new. I mean, they'll have to acknowledge it at some point. I don't know how they're going to come back. It's not going to be in 2-in-1. Much to my disgust, because I wanted that series to be the one to come back. And it also blows my theory out of the water as well. So the 12 issues of 2-in-1 would make it Fantastic Four 600 or 700 in, so they'd have a big anniversary issue to come back on. I mean, they're still going to have that big anniversary issue no matter fucking what in December. But if
Yeah. I think it's cool. You know, she has, like you said, the piece of the maker where it could be, I guess, like like she met the maker or something like that. It could be all something
Not
else.
a bit of the maker. It just looks like design wise, it kind of is reminiscent
I
of
guess
his.
maybe it doesn't even have to mean she met him. It could just be kind of, you know, that's just they're both strong, and that could be whatever. I don't know. I just it's kind of weird
Probably
where to
just
throw this. Yeah,
pure coincidence, really. I
yeah.
imagine.
It
Um,
honestly could be that. You're right.
it looks really cool. Like she looks like she could have been an old Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't. I mean, the minion, I guess, is gonna fight the Thing a lot.
I mean, maybe, but that looks like a gorilla fucked in a butthole. So, like literally,
Yeah, it looks kind of weird, but
has had his head punched in.
she
Either
seems
way,
really creepy. So you give her that.
probably wouldn't say no if you like goth chicks.
Whew.
Minus the spiky shoulders. That might be
Yeah.
something.
I'm excited for the Fantastic Four to come back. It's been a while, you know, and I feel like I think we're. How can you not be a fan of the Fantastic Four? It's hard to find somebody who isn't because they're kind of like the big thing at Marvel.
I mean, they kind of turned into the big thing at Marvel since the end of Secret Wars.
I mean,
No
really?
one really said, yeah. No, the Fantastic Four hadn't been relevant for years.
I always
Like,
thought
sure,
they've been nice.
sure, Hickman had his run, but I don't think it was game changing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've always liked the Fantastic Four. Like, it has felt weird with them being gone, even though Hickman gave them like the perfect send off. You didn't need them back, but it's nice that they're back.
Yeah.
It means a change in tides, and you get a nice little sci-fi story. Even though Marvel is 90% sci-fi, but that's neither here. That's it for the news, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah, and
Again,
yeah.
you can find Fantastic Four #1 on the 8th of August for $5.99. I wonder if this isn't coming at #1, I'll be slightly mad. Especially the amount of uproar. Like everyone complaining for 3 years to bring it back and then it doesn't get #1.
You'd have to assume most #1s do make the number, or at least like most big #1s, like a Superman or a Batman. If Fantastic Four would have to.
I mean, yeah. I don't know what Man of Steel did. I'll be interested to see what that's done.
Yeah.
Because that's got Bendis on it, and Bendis sells like hotcakes. So.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, that is the end of our news, which means we go on comics
of the week, which is for
The
May
30th.
30th.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew it or not. I wanted to say it.
Because it's May 30th, not the 30th of May.
It's 30th.
Like
May
it
30th.
Like the clever way. I'm going first, right?
Yeah.
Right. Infinity Countdown, Captain Marvel #1. It follows the trend of every tie-in the series has had, apart from the Dark Hawk one. That was an interesting one. It's kind of just telling you where the stone is. It's like, oh, here's the stone, here's what it does, or here's kind of what it's doing now.
I gotta ask though, who did the cover? Because I love that art.
The cover was
I love that cover.
in Hayek Lee. I think that's how you say the name. I blatantly butchered that.
Yeah.
It's INHYUK Lee.
I thought that was a great cover, to be honest.
It's a really nice cover. She looks a bit funky because of the angle she's at.
I mean, you don't think she looks funky in regular issue?
I mean, her ears don't stick out that far in the
It's true. It's true.
Just like that doesn't quite look like Carol Danvers. Even though I think they tried to do a bit of a Brie Larson take on it. I think.
On
I'm
the
not
cover?
quite sure. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Like it's not quite Brie Larson. It's not quite the comics. I don't know. It's a weird hybrid. But then again, every face on the cover looks weird, so it's not just that. But yeah, if you don't know Captain Marvel and you wanted to know about Captain Marvel, this is a really good issue to jump in on.
Yeah.
If you didn't know about the stones, it's a fairly decent issue to jump on.
I think a lot of these are kind of like, here's some jumping on points, basically. Which is great for like before it starts.
The Daredevil one wasn't, because
Okay,
that was
maybe not all of them.
more from Turk's perspective
Yeah,
and him in the Mind Stone and being like, oh, I control minds to win money.
yeah.
Mm. But this one is, I don't know, it's weird because it's clearly meant as a jumping on point for Carol Danvers, but we're having a jumping on point for Carol Danvers with the life of Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
I don't understand why we're having two. Um,
I agree. There's like maybe it's some type of movie thing. I don't know.
yeah, it could be. Of course, the first massive splash page, I think it's like literally pages 2 and 3, is it tells you what the stone does now. Like, she's got the reality stone, of course, and
You can see all the different realities, basically, right?
you can talk to whoever else is holding the reality stone in their reality.
Yeah, you can't even talk to Brie Larson apparently.
You can talk to Brie Larson. You can talk to Shazam.
Yeah, is that even supposed to be him? You think?
Shazam in the bottom right hand corner. Yeah,
Yeah, you think that's supposed to be him? I mean, it kind of does look like him, but
it's 100% supposed to be him.
all right,
Look,
it does look like him. I agree, except like it's not blue his thing, but that I don't think that's the point.
it's the Captain Marvel colors, but it's clearly
Yeah.
because we've seen that before when we saw that Carol had it. I think it was in the first countdown issue, and there was like 3, 4 like
So
slide panels, and then that was the end one again.
they're all gonna have different powers now, basically, right? Most
I
of them.
don't know if they're all gonna have different powers.
This one does for sure.
This one,
Well, yeah.
I can't remember what he did before. I think he's made it a bit less ambiguous than it was. But it's, oh, you can change reality, and it's like, oh, what does that mean? But this one's like, oh, you can communicate with every reality, sort of thing. And this one works outside of this one, like our reality. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is something people are always like, no, the stones don't do that. Well, this one does. It may just be that one, but it still does it. Yeah, for the most part, she's just kind of questioning herself, as Carol tends to do. And so she jumps through different realities and time periods. I don't know how the time one works. Like, she goes to Civil War and she questions what happens there, and she learns that every choice has a consequence, no matter what you do. Like, if she didn't kill Tony or put Tony in a coma, then she would have been put in a coma, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all that kind of stuff. And then she's like, oh no, I'm Captain Marvel. And by the end, I'm not even 100% sure it's the same Carol we started with. I don't know, it's a very strangely written issue, but it's what it is. There's some nice stuff in there. There's some kind of okay art. It's a bit funky in some spots. But for the most part, it's decent. I don't think it's essential to the Infinity Countdown series, but
Yeah.
it's what it is. It's Titan. They're not always essential, so yeah. You can start your first one.
Oh, okay. My first one's gonna be Justice League No Justice, and it's one of those things like, did I have to read this?
I'm so glad we agree. I'm so glad.
Which is weird. I enjoyed Dark Knight's Metal to an extent, where it had some weird stuff about it, but I thought that was entertaining. And then you get to know Justice, and I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. There's these Omega Titans, and whatever's gonna have the Brainiac. It's got Snyder. It's gonna lead into all these very teams, and then I finish it, and I'm like, I still don't really know what exactly was the point of this.
There's no point to this.
Especially at the very end where you see the new teams, and you're like, I don't necessarily get how all these, like, how did Darkseid come about? You know what I'm saying?
That's like my biggest problem with this is it's convoluted as all fuck. Like, the teams don't make sense. They even poke fun at that a little bit. I can't remember who did they poke fun at it with.
Beast Boy, probably.
No, there's Beast Boy and there's someone else. I can't. I think it was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, probably.
She's wisdom. It's like,
yeah,
chaos. Surely, like, yes, you're smart, but
so in a nutshell, the whole 4-part miniseries is, after breaking the Source Wall, these 4 Omega Titans that kind of started the universe come out of it and are hungry, and they go feed off the things, right?
That's quick. Do they come out of the Source Wall?
I think that's the thing of it, right?
don't think they ever said that because the way Brainiac talks about it is they've been here forever.
That they've just probably been in slumber then.
Or is it the source wall breaking woke them up?
Maybe that's it. Okay, so the Source Wall wakes them up, and he's
Yeah.
gonna go feed on all these different trees and all that. And the way to beat them is Brainiac. Brainiac has a plan that we still don't know, but the plan that the heroes make is that, hey, we're just gonna make them eat each other. I don't know. I didn't like that. I didn't really like that.
Because it's really fucking dumb.
I guess it makes sense to an extent, but I just don't really like it. Like it's just there's so many other ways you probably could have had the heroes win, and you probably could have you should have made it have them not win, but kind of both lose in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Because this was supposed to. It says it's supposed to shake things up, and heroes might be gone forever, and new alliance. Really doesn't feel like anything is shaking up.
See, no, like they have shaken things up, but they've shaken something up that's only been here for 3 issues before.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, let's say that. Okay, they did shake up things. The Omega Titans are the shake up, but are they technically not around anymore? They ate each other.
I mean, they ate the Entropy Titan, and then they went to sleep. They've done nothing. That this entire series was pointless. This is such a cash grab.
They make a point to say that the trees are still here, I guess, and that they're still doing something. And yeah, okay, that might be interesting, but let's hope it doesn't take 2-3 years to actually matter. Because when I read Rebirth and there was like Saturn Girl and Johnny Thunder, it took 3 years for it to actually matter, and we're gonna talk about that later. But honestly,
like here's another thing as well. It feels like it's even an extension to Metal, but it has the same ending, and it's just previews. It's like, oh, here's a team that we didn't set up in this series.
Exactly. It does feel like the previews thing, but it doesn't even like where did Hawkgirl come from? I know she's from Metal, but like she wasn't anywhere in No Justice.
Or like, where did Jessica Cruz, Azrael, and Darkseid come from for that team? Where did
Jessica Cruz? I mean, she came with I think Hal in one of the issues, and she was with Hal Jordan and all the other. The only like Azrael and Darkseid, I just don't understand how they're gonna come together. Detective Chimp, he had nothing else to do and was like, "Hey, let me tag along."
Yeah, I mean, sure, like I understand these teams' makeups way more than what Snyder did in the rest of this, but I don't know, it's just so strange. It's
even Man Bat, like none of them were in like. Are they gonna if they show it in the first issues of all these other ones how they all come together? Okay, that might be whatever, but at the same time, you should have maybe explained a little bit more in this.
It feels like an excuse to have a really bad setup to try and sell different issues.
I still don't even get what they give Green Arrow. Is that like to wake up the Titans or something like that?
Isn't what the thing has the symbol on Manhunter's chest? So it's got to be something to do with him. I don't know. That really threw me off. I was like, what is this?
Okay, well, so they add in Black Lightning, and he's, I guess, supposed to be the other secret one, the other secret team.
Clearly going to be the leader of an Outsiders book.
Yeah, but it's not, yeah. But it's supposed to be like another secret team. I think there was supposed to be one with Nightwing, but I think they're going to scratch that and put it Black Lightning in place.
Nightwing was supposed to have Green Arrow's role in this.
Yeah.
Because when they said about Nightwing, it was he's going to be working with Waller. Well, Nightwing didn't do anything in this series.
Yeah, it was Green Arrow.
I did Green Arrow, but I think all the cool stuff happened in his annual that they didn't even reference.
Yeah,
so.
And then I guess because I'm looking at this real quick, and it's on page 19 with Green Arrow and kind of what Martian Manhunter gives them, and it's just like that's the thing that destroys the Justice League.
Yeah, so is he going to have his own Tower of Babel?
Yeah, like I don't know. There's too many. Look, I'm all for questions and all that, but I think, especially since they don't really stop the Source Wall from being broken, like it's still broken.
The Source Wall has nothing to do with this story at all.
Yeah, I wish they would have more to do. You know what? Because they're ending. I noticed that they're ending Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, right?
Yeah.
And in my imagining, especially when I read this, I was like, oh, that's interesting. All the Green Lanterns are going to be nowhere to be seen because they're going to be at the Source Wall trying to keep it open forever. So you're never going to see any Green Lantern for a couple of years because they're going to stay at the Source Wall until there is an actual thing to fix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
that's not happening.
No, because there's the rumors of Morrison taking over Green Lantern.
Yeah, and also Jessica Cruz is in Odyssey. You have Jon Stewart in one, and that's just like yeah,
But yeah, because Jon Stewart's becoming an ultraviolet lantern, isn't he, in Justice League? Something like that.
something I don't. A lot of this just confuses me more. With the end of Metal, you're supposed to ask the questions, but the reason for No Justice is you're supposed to answer them. Because this
Yeah,
is just an extension of the ending that just continues to confuse me.
it's an extension of Metal that's completely void of Metal entirely.
Yeah, I
Connection to Metal apart from the Source Wall.
did. Honestly, did you even need this before getting into the new team ups? Like, I feel like the team ups you could have had already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's I don't know,
This,
man.
like, they shouldn't have had the whole weird, unconventional team ups. They should have split them off into the big book team ups.
Yeah, exactly. That
Like,
would have made much more sense because it would mean why they stayed a team because they felt this connection to each other.
yeah, like, you have Odyssey as one. I don't know what was Wonder
Odyssey, Wonder Woman's like just it's gonna be Justice League Dark. So gonna have Swamp Thing.
Team Wonder in
Oh
this.
yeah, but in this one it's Detective Chimp, Zatanna, Man Bat, and Swamp Thing. That's gonna be the new Justice League Dark. But I don't know, man. I found that there is not a lot to this miniseries. Really.
No, it's a cash grab. It's a simple
The
like
only
let's
thing to
get
get
it out quickly. That's
the,
all it is.
the only thing to get excited about is kind of the new Justice League issues, new Justice League Dark, Odyssey, and Justice League. Like really, and I was already excited for that. I didn't need another precursor to it to re-hype me up. You know what I'm saying?
And like it's a shame because the concept is really fucking cool.
It's so
Like,
rushed too, man. It feels so rushed.
like the four Titans are a really fucking cool idea.
I liked it too, and especially how Brainiac died and his son's still around and stuff like that. I
I,
thought the whole
I
concept
still
was cool.
I still don't get any of that. It's like, what was the point? What was Brainiac even doing?
I guess it's to continue. Like I don't even know that either. They didn't really answer that well. I don't. Me and you are both on this. This is like the first time in a while that I've just really been disappointed in a sense because
It's the thing. Surely, if like none of this needed to happen because your Mega Titans would have been on Earth anyway.
yeah,
I'm sure they would have known more about them, but I don't know. The amount of time that they were there on what's the home planet,
Kalu. I call it Kalu. Yeah,
Kalu, or whatever it's called. The amount of time they were on there waiting for the Titans to do something, I find that they could have done this all on Earth.
exactly
Like,
that too. Yeah.
none of this really needed to happen. They could have just shown up on Earth.
I guess part of it is to go that whole no justice kind of theme, where there is no such thing as justice. Like these heroes saving the planets and bringing them into the modern universe and saving the people and stuff like that. It's kind of messing up the balance. Like it's not doing any justice to the universe at all. It's actually probably not helping.
Yeah, but we have that when they broke the Source Wall.
A little bit. That should have been that. Shouldn't it have been. Shouldn't the Source Wall should have been like giving birth to like bringing back all these old planets and stuff like that. That probably should have been it.
Like all that stuff where it's like, oh, we're gonna bring in 1,000 new planets. That's really cool, and it just gives you complete freedom for your cosmic space. But I don't know, it's just cool ideas, and the execution was just really
I
bad.
agree because when you look at the Omega Titans, they look really cool in their designs and what they could do, and
The idea of this tiny little fruit can completely shit up their whole like, oh, what's the word? Like their whole status quo. It's
yeah,
like this thing's like the size of a cherry, and it just completely changed the cosmic order. Why has no one ever thought to do that before? If it's that easy, why couldn't Brainiac just do that himself?
yeah.
Why didn't Deathstroke have the ability not to charge the seed entropy?
I did. I don't know.
Was it Lex Luthor? Like, I mean, I get you want him on the Legion of Doom, fine, but
Oh, that was the whole. Yeah.
it's just really, and like, why is Brainiac dampening their powers if he wants to save them? Like, what? I don't know. It's just a really written story.
I don't see. It might just be a strange kind of plotting, like outline. It's just a strange outline because they lead nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they saved the Earth, but didn't they just save it again, like in a matter of weeks?
Also, where's the 10th metal? Why didn't you just use that again?
Well, that got trapped, but at the same time, I wish this would have had more to do with the source wall. Like, I wish we could maybe going inside the source wall might be too much because that's exploring something. It's better to be kept a mystery.
Where'd you say the 10th metal went?
I think it went into the Dark Multiverse. They left it in there.
Did they? I thought they kept it.
No, if I remember correctly, they got left in there, or maybe it got used up or something like that. So it's kind of one of those things where like it's based on the writer.
That's dumb, Snyder.
Yeah.
I know you're the king of Ex Machinas, but come the fuck on.
I just felt like it should have had more to do with the source wall and kind of like explaining it a bit more, but without explaining it fully.
It should have been more about the source wall, more about the teams we're getting instead of random teams that are literally just there to be, oh, this is a cool idea and a cool crossover, and then we're never going to utilize any of them.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Sinestro and a team with Starfire. You're going to get that for 3 panels and nothing else. They're then magically going to work together in complete harmony. Really?
I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I just thought it was such a mishandling. And I love Scott Snyder. It's just that execution.
It honestly makes me worried for his Justice League book.
Nah, I just think this was rushed, and I don't know what made him do this. To be honest, like what made this part? Was it DC demanding there'd be something more?
Said why he did it. I think he said he got the idea because the way he ended Metal was so big, he had to have another event to show how big it was or something. And then he did this, which was nothing. And speaking of 4 issues of nothing,
you go ahead.
Amazing Spider-Man number 800, the $10 conclusion to the Go Down Swinging arc.
$10, wow.
Yeah, $10 is 81 pages of not a lot. It's got decent art here and there because it's got like 5 different artists on it. And fun fact, I think it says Jim Chung is one of them.
Yeah.
And he's not here. So I don't know where his stuff went. Maybe he must have left for DC before that part. This is the whole conclusion to the Red Goblin stuff with Norman Osborn being the Green Goblin with the Carnage symbiote. He literally fucks over everyone, and then it's just running around chasing him for the majority of the book. He's like, oh, I'm going to go and get these people. Then I'm going to go get these people. And Jameson's fucked up because he told him who Spider-Man is. So Jameson sends Venom over to one place, and then he gets... No, he doesn't get Doc Ock. Doc Ock still has the memories of Parker, so he goes to Aunt May. And then it's just all this bunch of nothing. I know, it's really disappointing. Hopefully 801's better as Slot's final issue. But for the most part, it's kind of what you expect. You know, Spider-Man wins easily after getting his shit pushed in for the majority of the last 4 or 5 issues. He does get the Venom symbiote suit back, or a little bit of it at least anyway. And in the end, he's like, I don't need this suit to beat you, and you don't need that suit to win because the suit's doing everything for you, Norman. That's not really you winning. And that's how he beats him. And then I don't know if Norman is putting on an act that he thinks he's Cletus Cassidy at the end, or if that's actually happened. But yeah, it's fine. To be honest, the worst part about it is the Ramos art, because Ramos can't draw for fuck.
Yeah.
You do get a lot of artists from Slot's entire run, and it does look nice the majority of the time. But I thought the black suit was going to stay on for Spencer's run.
It did it?
No, he kind of goes, oh, you can go away now, I don't need you, in the middle of Times Square. And it's just like, but you're keeping it. It's like, hold on. So have we been talking to each other? I don't think you have. But yeah, it's also funny how like little normie Goblin just suddenly is like, oh no, you're a bad guy. You tried to kill my mum. And it's like, you've been trying to kill people's aunts. Like, surely that would have snapped you out of it, but no, your mum snapped you out. So okay. Yeah, it's fine. If you like what Slot's been doing, it's more of the same. If you didn't like what Slot's been doing, I can't imagine you'd like this. But yeah, it is what it is. He's got one issue left. Hopefully, it's good because this one was really mediocre and really fucking long.
All right, going on to my next one, Doomsday Clock number 5. You read it, right?
Yeah, I read it. Where are you on this series?
I've been brought back a little bit.
Yeah,
I've been brought back a little bit. I just hate the fact that it's taking forever. But I've been
yeah.
brought back a little bit because I enjoyed this one a lot. I enjoyed the last one a lot too, the one about the moth and all that. I thought that was a great kind of like thematic kind of
Last
storytelling.
the last one, or if this issue was as bad as that one, I would have been done.
But so this means like it kind of brought you a little bit back, right? Because
There's some interesting things brought up in this,
yeah.
and the fact it actually starts to do something, and there's more Watchmen DC crossover, not just his.
Thankfully, right?
Yeah. It's oh yeah, we're not gonna. Well, we are gonna follow. What are the two people's names?
The mime? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, them. I'm okay with not following them, but I'm okay with following Rorschach.
Even Rorschach is like, you're not the Rorschach I care about.
Yeah, but you kind of learn who he is and stuff like that, and
but at the same time, like I know it's hard. You can't just bring the old Rorschach back because that's kind of then shitting on the original. But at the same time, it's like I don't care about this new one. I understand you have to have a Rorschach here to get the look of Watchmen done. But you brought the comedian back. You could have.
I thought this one definitely brought me back in a sense of like, all right, Jeff, like you have me going on for another issue to see what happens with this because this one is the most I think comic that furthers the story of whatever's happening.
Oh yeah. But didn't the original Watchmen do that? Was like issue 5 or 6 is where stuff actually
Trust
died.
me, I don't remember the original Watchmen like in terms of which issue brought the story forward the most.
Yeah, I suppose you would have read it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't remember. Like, it's been a long time, but
Pretty certain it was the halfway point of the original where things actually started happening.
and I think you make a point in saying that this is like the first one that furthers the DC Watchmen kind of crossover, where you have Johnny Thunder, you even have Black Adam in this, which I think is very cool. Rorschach, I think, sees the Lantern, right? If I remember correctly, let me see. Yeah, because he saves Johnny Thunder and.
Now, quick question: which Lantern is that?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Alan Scott, the JSA one. I think this is gonna be, remember when I was talking for the longest time about what's gonna happen with the Legion, what's gonna happen with the Justice Society, because that was in Rebirth. Well, I guess this is where it's all playing out, not necessarily in the DC universe, but only in this one, Doomsday Clock.
It's like I assumed it was like the JSA, and I assumed it was Alan Scott's because it just all the look of it, and it's the oldest Lantern I can think of.
And Johnny Thunder was, part of the JSA, and it has to be kind of together in that sense, and
So you can kind of, I don't know. This issue feels more like Rebirth kicking in, and it's like no, we're actually going to start wrapping up the story. It's not even really a story for Rebirth.
But it's 12 issues, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're going to start wrapping it up. So like you're going to have 12 issues or 6 to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Like we're going to start, talking about the JSA, which we haven't done in like 2 years. So that's more what I mean.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's cool that you see Saturn growing here.
Yeah. It's nice that Superman makes an appearance for the first time.
Yeah, Clark. You know what? I was so hyped up after that first issue. Because of kind of the nightmare he had and stuff like that, and also when you look at the book that was a big thing when you looked at the book that was there, and it was like about what the story or the theme of what was happening. I was like, oh, this is gonna be like the hypest thing ever, and it just kind of like dipped down a little bit. This one brought back a little bit more, and not even necessarily in terms of how much I like it, because I enjoyed it that Moth issue where it was just more of a thematic and emotional thing as opposed to actually storytelling. Like it wasn't necessarily telling us the story of Watchmen and DC. It was kind of just saying this confined story.
Here's the thing: the story of it is fine.
Yeah.
Not for here.
Yeah, it felt a little weird to give that little one shot, right?
Yeah, it's like Doomsday Clock is for the whole like Justice League Watchmen stuff. I expect you to tackle that and that alone. Do not give me other
No,
crap.
I see. It's
Sure.
12 issues. I expect one of them to be like a one-shot type of thing, to be specifically on something, whatever it may
You can,
be.
you can have a one shot and be specific about something. Have it be relevant. Like,
I guess it might have been relevant in a sense to kind of tell you Rorschach. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but we've had Rorschach with 3 issues prior to that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This one probably should have been later in probably.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know. I like the fact that they kind of bring up the idea, because when you go deeper into it, I guess it's talking about Batman versus Superman, right, and their ideals in a sense. Maybe.
Uh, Not necessarily. I wouldn't say I got any of that from here.
Maybe I just looked way too. You know me. I look too much into stuff sometimes.
It's more doing what Watchmen did, but elevating the scale and the scope of what that was trying to tackle.
Yeah.
Like the whole Superman theory, which is the Superman theory is the reason why it actually kind of hooked me. I was like, oh, I like that.
But
So,
I also kind of like, towards the end of when Batman is just kind of like, they just throw him into the crowd.
yeah, that's
I thought it definitely kind of shows the difference between them, and I guess it's gonna, like, when you have to choose your hero to save the world, you're probably gonna want Superman over Batman.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I do love still kind of John's thought process and Gary Frank's art, because in that last, I think, no, in that second, like one of the last couple pages, it just kind of shows Johnny Thunder being punched and then Batman being punched, and it just kind of shows like,
Yeah. You have the side by side of
yeah, and I like that kind of stuff, and we'll see. It just seems like it's inching closer to where we wanted it to be, right? Where we wanted it to go, in a sense, because it took 5 issues to get to this place.
I was gonna say it better start because we're at the halfway point
Yeah,
now.
it feels like it's finally starting, even though it's like halfway, basically.
So even though the halfway point technically starts in like 2 months.
Yeah. Oh man, that's the killer. It kills the hype around this. To be honest,
It really does. Is it still 2 months away?
it might be. It kills the hype so bad, because this would have been talked about like a lot if it wasn't months apart, in that sense of like.
I mean, yeah, there was definitely more talk when it was monthly compared to now.
Yeah, to like
See
bi-
anyone talk about this.
what do you call
at
it?
all.
Bi-yearly, biannual, or it's like feels like every couple months or something like that, or every 6 months.
It's bi-yearly at the minute.
Yeah,
Every other year.
I do still like the way, it ends right, and then you see both of them, and you see Batman being whatever he is, and Rorschach with the lantern. But where it says when men make gods, there is no God. I still love that kind of look at it, where it's that Watchmen like kind of quote at the end and stuff like that.
Well, it's not a Watchmen quote.
No,
it's just...
no. But it's Watchmen style. Like it's gonna have this
Oh,
deep
yeah.
quote at the very end, and it's kind of like what happened in this issue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still into it. Yeah.
I'm enjoying it slightly more than I was.
I'd agree. I'm probably enjoying it more than you, but I just think this one brought me back into a sense of like, okay, the train is rolling now. Like, after a while, it just felt like it wasn't going anywhere.
I wouldn't say it's rolling. It's got a time to leave. Is more the thing. Like it hasn't.
I thought it left already with this. I thought it just left. Like this is like where it just starts, basically.
It will leave if it actually finishes.
Right.
My biggest question is, when does this take place?
Beats me. I have no idea. I don't even think. I wonder if you're supposed to ask that. Black Adam's in here. Batman with the yellow symbols in here.
It's like I assume like it's obviously at least a year in front of everything else.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Metal was supposed to end. No, Doomsday Clock was supposed to end at the current, like, wherever DC was going to be. I don't think that's the case
Doomsday
anymore.
was supposed to end in November.
Yeah.
Did it start? What was it? November 22nd? Is that Rorschach's journal?
I think it was supposed to start around. Yeah.
It was something. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it started in November. So it's supposed to end November this year, but of course it's going to be ending on November next year. So, their editorial team is going to do
I'm curious if the 3 Jokers are going to be talked about here. You remember that when that was a thing?
I think they said no. I think the 3 Jokers are Snyder's.
Okay, 3 Jokers are Sliders.
John's is. I know John says Shazam. He's got the JSA. I'm not sure if he's got the Jokers. I know they've said. I just can't remember which one he's got. I know he's definitely got the two of
Yeah.
JSA and Shazam. Even though apparently Billy Batson showed up in Terrifics #4 this week. I don't know if people.
I haven't kept up with Terrifics. I kind of stayed off that, to be honest.
I did. I read those tuitions and I was like, no.
Billy Batson shows up,
It's a kid. It looks like Billy Batson.
but nobody knows.
It doesn't state that it's Billy Batson, but people are jumping to the conclusion that it is, even though I doubt it is because Johns has him. So why would he let? Who's writing the Terrifics?
Is it Jeff Lemire?
Yeah, because who's doing not Hyperion Century? It's Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, because he wanted to write Superman, but in Marvel, but he wrote Fantastic Four in DC. Yeah, that's the joke that never die.
Still so funny to me. Yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah. Why? I don't know why he'd give Lemire Billy Batson, but that is what it is.
You go on yours. I'm done doing the call. Let's hope whenever the next one is that it's something shakes our.
Hopefully the whole mime people and the Joker thing wraps up next issue, so I haven't got again for the rest of the run.
Yeah, I kind of don't want that either, to be honest.
So over these three people. I do not care. My last one is a nice, happy, cheery one with Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and the Human Torch. It's a big wrap up to the first arc, and Doom Lactus, as he has been officially dubbed, is here. Everything's going to shit because there is nothing left in the universe for him to eat. We get Big Pim Particle Ben Grimm fighting Doom, which is really fucking nutty. They they repeat Secret Wars with Johnny, who's in the sun, and he's dubbed Humanity's Torch instead of the Human Torch.
Humanity's Torch.
It's a really cool moment. He just blasts the shit out of Doom, even though it's pointless because Doom's just like, oh, that's energy, thank you. It's a really cool fight and a really cool wrap up to everything. You get some nice little emotional beats with all of them. Especially at the end, because you obviously got Norrin Rad, the Silver Surfer, who's with Emma Frost. Emma Frost actually ends up being the new Galactus, or the Lifebringer now. So it matches up with the 616. She's now going around repopulating the universe. And it's a really nice, one page of her just exploding energy out into the world. You find out where Doom became Galactus. Galactus's mind went into Doom's body, and being the body of a human drove him mad to everything he'd done. So they buried him on Earth. It's quite a nice little moment, very poignant. Johnny Storm gives Norrin Rad the power cosmic back, so he can go and be the herald of the Lifebringer, Emma Frost. I don't know what the name you could give for her. Frost Lactus. Doesn't sound as good as Doom Lactus. Then, I was going to call him Zub then, he'd kill me for saying that. Zdarsky raises a question of can they trust the girl they're traveling with? Because the read of this universe says to Ben that their energy signature is so specific, it shouldn't be a scatter shot to jump through the multiverse to find people. And it's like, either she's fucking you about, or there's a different reason why you can't pinpoint that energy. And it's just like, can you trust her? Can you not? Thankfully, this series has got another 6 issues. So we're not just going to have a cliffhanger for that one. So it's all good. And next, I think, is the annual with the infamous Iron Man. Even though, I want to know where this takes place. Because stuff that happens in Iron Man 600 doesn't add up to what's happening here. But that's continuity. But yeah, it's a really good issue. If you haven't been reading 2-in-1, go back and pick it up because you'll be surprised just how good it is. Especially if you've been missing the Fantastic Four. There's only 2 of them for the most part, but you do get Reed Sue in for the rest of it in a different universe. So it's really nice, really good. Zdarsky definitely surprised quite a few people with this series.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'm going into my last one, which is going to be talking about Man of Steel #1, which apparently people were saying is bad, but
Really?
Yeah, I heard some people say, come on, Bendis, but like, I actually really enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it. I tell you that. That
Yeah,
was,
I,
uh, hmm.
yeah, it gives like, it feels like straight up that he knows Superman, and also, you know, I, I love the idea that you see something in the beginning and then it comes later on, like when he says, Clark or Dad, what is that? And at the very end of the issue, it says that.
What
You
does
know
it
what I'm
say?
saying? Like, kind of like in the middle of the issue, there's a point where Superman hears something.
Oh yeah, he hears a girl singing a song, and I'm pretty certain.
No, not that, but
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about then, because that's the only thing that they really make a point to.
really, because there's a one point after he stops the fire, he sees something, and then it says, "Dad, what is that?" And then at the very end, John says, "Dad, what is that?"
Is that?
Yeah, at page 13, there's a point where he's going in, like trying to see what happened. Then the bubbles say, "Dad, what is
Oh yeah,
that?" And it says Clark.
yeah, yeah. I didn't. Huh,
Yeah, and at the very end, Lois and John say the same thing.
good catch. I didn't know.
I love when stuff like that happens. I'm just a fan of like confusing things, and you know what I'm saying, like stuff that kind of what
Essentially,
what would you call that?
it's foreshadowing.
I guess no. What did we call it before? Audible premonitions or something?
What would you call this?
What did we call it before?
It's
Visual
not.
what?
Um, it was visual echoes before. I suppose
Yeah,
you could visual echo because it's visuals, yeah, and it
yeah.
echoes out. The visual echo.
I just think that's funny. I still love that meme. I wish it'd come back, but yeah, like I felt like after I read this, I was like, oh, he gets Superman, and he like
It's funny. It's a very typical Bendis issue. He gets
how so?
the main character is the main character. Everyone else sounds the same.
Hmm, interesting.
Like if you read it, no, like every civilian, they're not like they're not different to each other. They're just one continuous. They might as well be one continuous speech bubble,
That
which
is
is a
kind
very.
of true because when we see the new fire chief lady and the little black girl, they kind of
It's like no one's really got a personality about them, and it kind of spreads to like I can't remember the Lantern Guardian's name, but you know what I'm talking about.
yeah
Like him and like Rogozar, that everyone just sounds the same, and Rogozar in that first splash page just has this wall of text, and it's like, okay, Bendis, calm down. I, I get you got a lot of explaining to do.
um.
Calm down.
There's some interesting things. It's a weekly event. I think 6 issues. So we're gonna see in the next 6 weeks. We're gonna see this,
It's five
and
issues. It's
okay,
five
five
issues.
issues, 5 weeks. I'm interested to see what is that per se. Kind of like the talking heads. I guess that's like kind of maybe different guardians of the universe.
I was gonna say, I assume it's like a council, like kind of bit like how Marvel has with the Ten Realms,
Yeah,
even though it's the Ten Realm Council, but it's like the galactic, like different races. I just
yeah,
assume that's kind of what it is here. But
yeah.
I don't really get why Rogozar wants to do what he does.
But what was the thing you're saying about Supergirl or whatever? You're saying about the girl with music, and they made a point of like kind of
The thing, he's like, oh, I hear singing,
yeah.
and it's like, I hear that tune. It's familiar. I don't know what it is.
What do you think it was?
Um, to me, I don't know. The whole like the four Lars and the long one sounds like the Superman thing.
What do you mean? I don't necessarily understand what you're saying.
Superman the movie, like the thing.
Oh, yeah, this does remind me of like Superman Returns in a way.
Not Returns,
Oh,
the Superman movie.
oh, the original. I can't remember that movie. It's been such a long time.
You know the score to that music, Joe.
Oh, is that what you're thinking though? That was
Yeah.
it.
That da 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 da.
Eh.
It fits. Like if
Ah,
you
la 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 la. Oh, I didn't even think about that. See, we both caught something the other one didn't catch.
to be fair, I focused on that for ages. I
I
actually
did.
stopped to go like, what is that? It's like he goes, it's familiar, and I'm like, that is familiar. It's like it's not like obviously the full ending bit. They've cut off the first la, but I'm certain that's what that is.
Yeah, because you focused on that. I focused on like kind of the what happened in the middle when he was taking out the fire, and they said it at the end. Like, I
To
think
be
those are
honest,
two interesting points.
yeah, I probably would have caught the whole John thing if I wasn't so busy trying to think of what that song is.
Yeah,
Because I was reading it, I'm like, what is that song? It's like, and I'm sitting there going, this has to come back up. Like, why would it has an entire page dedicated to it,
who's the
and then
artist?
um,
I'm trying to see.
oh,
So Bendis, is it Ivan Reyes? Yeah, Ivan Reyes. It looks like Aquaman 52.
yeah, Alex Sinclair and
I gotta say, he gives like there's that one panel where Superman is flying and it's like blue all around him, and it's to kind of show that he's speeding up fast. Like he's going so fast that you can't even see anything around him.
yeah.
I think that was great.
Bendis, he seems to have a handle on what Superman is and what he can do.
Especially that one point with the fire, and he even says that I could get out here faster than the fire could chase us, but I'd fly too fast, I could hurt them.
Yeah,
Like that just in my head is like, whoa, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
And he just covers them and stuff like that, and then breathing in the fire and such. Like I just thought, yeah, this is.
he breathe in the fire, or is it just the smoke? I know the fire's around him, but he can't burn or anything. So it's kind of.
I think it's the fire, because the fire, he puts the fire on him, and the fire eventually goes out because there's nothing on him that could stay burned.
It says inhale the super breath should pull most of the fire and smoke away from the building and into and onto me.
And then,
See, that's very much Bendis. Into and onto. It's like,
yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it, and it makes me kind of salty how bad he was at Marvel at the end. And it's like, you really didn't give a fuck. Like, at all.
I'm curious if the fire chief lady is gonna have a big part in this.
Absolutely. Bendis loves civilian characters.
Okay.
It's kind of like Joss Whedon, where Whedon likes to have his, like, ground view characters.
The random, like, family in the truck in Justice League.
You have the family in Justice League, in Avengers, you've got the waitress.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, like,
Okay.
It was, I think, voice in The Last of Us. I think that was
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that. I don't know what what his main thing is. I guess he tried to save Krypton. And then he's gonna realize Superman was alive as the last son of Krypton. I wonder why he tried to save Krypton. Like, I guess
it's like I get what he wants to do. He never says why. It's like, oh, they're going too fast. They're gonna kill everything. It's like, yeah, but what's it done to you?
Yeah, like why does he care about Krypton? I'm sure we'll learn about that.
I mean, I imagine we'll see it in like issue 2. Like I can see issue 2 being like more focused on him. Like if you flip this around, so you get the focus on Rogol Zaar and then like little flashbacky bits on, maybe not flashbacky, but jump forwards on Clark, Superman, and all that lot. Cause you got to address what the hell that light thing is at the end. So. I completely forgot Joe's doorbell just rang. So I'm just gonna go la 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 la. Hopefully we'll edit this out and this actually won't make it in.
What?
But knowing, I'm just saying because I didn't realize you actually left.
Yeah.
Doorbell. I didn't realize you actually just got up, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I don't know. There's not too much to say about this other than I really enjoyed it and kind of like the art around it and everything worked. And I'm interested to see kind of where Bendis takes this because, I've read Bendis, but this is my first kind of full-on version of him, I guess.
Yeah. It's also, it's quite a good thing that it's a 5-issue mini, so he's being forced to tell a tight story. It's not, here's the keys to this run with it, where he'll get bored after 2 volumes and then
just keep making him write miniseries and that'll work out fine.
You'll get some. Actually, no, you have to keep jumping him around characters like Donny Cates.
Yeah.
But it's nice that the last couple of pages, I assume, are the artist for issue 2.
Is that? Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad.
It's like because each issue's got a different artist, so I assume. I don't know if it says if they got the credit in here. I think they should have. Where's the credit page?
I'm curious if that's the new way of storytelling for comics, kind of getting creators and having them jump character to character in miniseries form. You can have it be ongoing, but like each arc is like a miniseries and then a different writer and artist will be on it every time. Just keep switching out. Maybe this like Bendis, if this was a weekly one, right? The first 5 would be Bendis and Ivan Reyes and then somebody else, and then in like 10 issues he could come back and do it another version of like you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
that wouldn't be a bad idea actually.
DC Marvel hit me up
I think that might get a bit
stale because of like not
not
stale, but
oh,
what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, you have it, you know it too.
it
Gimmicky.
won't, not gimmicky. You won't feel consistent because obviously each writer's got a different take on a character. And they're like, yes, they're gonna try and stay true to the characters, but they're always gonna feel different. So like
True.
every volume or 2 volumes, you're gonna get this weird change.
I guess there has to be someone to check over that in a sense, right? The one who takes care of the Superman series stuff like that, and he says, "Okay, you get to write your own series, but each one of them has a little thing that they carry over. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. So like Superman loses powers. It doesn't have to be that. It could be Superman stop like he doesn't. I don't know, not Clark Kent dies, but like maybe he's away for the like Clark Kent's away for the week in the next arc or something like that. I don't know. It just has to be something simple and small that can be continued. But I don't know. Wouldn't that be interesting? Like to try that out.
It could be an idea. Because comics, they're trying their hardest to go weekly.
And it won't work all that well if they have the same writer and artist weekly for a whole year.
Like, here's the thing. Writers fine. You have to limit the amount of books they could do. It is purely the artists. Artists stress and nearly kill themselves over a monthly title.
But wouldn't you just do it ahead of time in a sense?
I mean, they do it ahead of time, but there's so much that goes into this.
Okay, yeah.
So much that goes.
And is that the point of getting multiple artists for an arc?
Yeah, if you can get 3 issues, I mean, so even then, 3 issues is not consistent enough. You can get 6 issues, then maybe, and then swap to a different artist, but keep the same writer going. Or maybe if you do it like how No Surrender did, where you have different artists but the same colorist and all that stuff, because then you at least get a consistent feel and it's not jumping about all over the place, and you get artists that are kind of similar to each other. But
yeah, because I remember there was I think when Teen Titans started, there was something where the artists were very similar to each other. One dropped and it still felt the same. So you could maybe do that. I don't know. That'd be interesting to kind of change up the comic industry in a way. I don't think it'd change up the whole industry, but it'd probably be something fresh that people could do.
Yeah.
You don't even have to do it for every character. Just start off with one character first. Superman could have been the first one.
Have your flagships weekly.
Yeah.
Have your Justice Leagues, your Avengers, your Batmans, your Spider-Mans, your Supermans, your Caps.
It's already bi-weekly though, so it's just at least for Rebirth, for DC, some of them are bi-weekly.
But so are some of Marvel's.
Okay, well then both of them are some bi-weekly, but now the change is just try to do the weekly.
There's definitely a little toe in the weekly pool. That's kind of sounds like a plug for someone else, but it's not. They're definitely trying to see if they can do a weekly, long-term weekly and X amount of books, but
yeah,
I don't think they will. I think there's just too much that goes into comics that stop that.
So,
but
I guess kind of as we end this, what do you think is that last kind of bright light? Isn't there something about John and Lois might be gone for something? I don't know. There's something I heard about that.
Not too sure on that. I imagine
it's Rogar, probably.
It's what's his name? Rogel's
I think it's Rogar. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact: named after the nurse that when he was in the hospital over the holidays or in December, whenever it was.
Bendis?
Yeah, didn't you hear he died?
Damn, I did not know. I was away from all this. Remember?
No, this is before you went away.
Damn, I didn't even remember. What? I didn't hear about that.
Google it. He proper nearly died.
God, I didn't hear about that. What?
He was so glad. In fact, it was before. It was just after they announced him leaving to this, and he was supposed to start writing for DC, but of course this all happened and it pushed everything back slightly. And it's just fuck.
I think I heard something about Bendis maybe going to. No, I don't think I heard about it. I swear, I did not know this.
She was everywhere. And like he was blind for a few days and this and that, and then it went away, it came back, and then he nearly died. And it's just like,
Dang, that's crazy.
yeah. But I think he's all in the good clear now.
Good on
So
him that he's back, in the clear and stuff like that.
I just find it funny he named the villain after the nurse, and he's
Yeah,
like, she's not a horrible person. She was really nice, and I'm thankful for my life. But you're
that's
gonna be
nice.
the. I imagine the second issue is going to be Action Comics 1000, the last story from Bendis in that.
Oh
At
yeah,
that point, like the way this is structured, where we jump back and forth between two different periods. I imagine it will carry on the same. So we'll have like the fight and more on Rogozar and everything. But it might not be Rogozar. That's just me assuming because it's the most obvious thing. But
yeah. So I guess that's it.
that is,
Toodles.
he did it again.
What isn't that I'm supposed to say? We're still recording.
Yeah, but you got in that before I say what you normally say.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's bad enough last time you got both of them, and you kind of cut blocked me.
We can end it officially. Go ahead.
Until next time.
Oh yeah, you forgot you have to say that, Toodles.
Yeah.